Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create surveys using Google Forms. Let me show you an example here. So this is a form I created to collect feedback and information from my existing students. I've used forms for many years and they're awesome. Google Forms are free, easy to use, and very customizable. To give you an example of what you can get from running surveys with Google Forms, here I have a form with 120 responses. And if I click on the responses, you can see very nice graphs telling you what people have responded. So in this case, when I'm asking what is the main reason you're stuck creating an online course, I can see that the main reason is not having a clear action plan. What do you need to get stuck creating an online course? The main reason is a clear step-by-step action plan, right? And then anything else gets added into this list. Then I collect the email addresses. And also I can see the actual results on a sheet. And I can perform further data analysis after I collect my responses. So this is very useful if you have a list, if you want to collect information. So let's show you exactly how you do this, because not only I'm going to show you how to create a Google form, which is pretty straightforward, I'm going to show you how to create automatic email responses, one for you as the administrator, so you can know every time somebody fills up the form, and also a confirmation email to the user that fills in the form as well. So how do you do that? Very simple. You have to go to grumo.com/gforms to download this checklist. And we're going to go through this checklist step by step to make sure you know exactly how to create a survey with Google Forms. So the first thing you're going to do is create a new Google form at Google Forms at google.com/forms. So if I copy this and paste it on my browser, you'll see here that I can create a new form. I click on the blank option. Next, I'm going to give my form a title. In my case, this is an actual project. And I'm not doing a survey per se, but I'm asking people to submit their course. Submit your course link. All right. Enter a description with instructions on how to use the form. So in my case is, congrats, you've completed your course. Submit the link and coupon to your course using the form below. All right. And now we're going to create an associated spreadsheet. Very important. By default, this form, the responses are only stored here, but there is not an associated spreadsheet. So we're going to create the associated spreadsheet. We're going to create either select the existing one or create a new spreadsheet. So I'm going to give it a name, which is going to be submit your course, create. So now the spreadsheet is created. The responses are going to be stored here as well. I'm going to click here. If you click on that area, it actually saves it all with the same name, the form. Great. What's next? So we associated. Let's add our questions. In my case, there's going to be 3 questions. So the first one is going to be enter your email. So I know who submitted this form. The next question is going to be submit the link to your course. It's going to be a short answer. And the next question is going to be enter a coupon to view your course. And finally, I usually always like to create feedback comments. So if you have any comments, that's a long answer already. And now what we're going to do next is set in any input validation rules. So we're going to decide what's required. So email is required. This is the required. This is required as well. Comments are optionals. Now we're going to do response validation. So we want to make sure this is a valid email. So we go to response validation. Text contains email address, and we can even have a custom error text. In this case, this has to be a URL. Perfect. It's detected already that we want this to be a URL, and in this case, it's going to be a text, so it doesn't need any actual input validation. We just want to make sure it's required. So there you go. We have our form. We're going to edit the confirmation message. This is optional, but it's nice to have a confirmation message. So you go to the cogwheel here and under settings and presentation, confirmation message. Thanks for your submission. Obviously, I'm going to do this better later, but for now, just to give you an idea how it works, save it. We're going to customize it. Obviously, this is just a very plain. I want to make it look nicer, so let me just click on the color palette. You can select different colors, but I like a custom background. There's a bunch of different themes you can choose from. Even you can upload photos if you want to. I'm just going to submit here. What? I don't know. These pencils are very colorful. And now we have a nice little form that we can preview by clicking on the I button, and this is what people would see, right? Now we can send people to this link for them to start submitting their answers. And in theory, you could be done already, right? But if people start submitting the answers, you're not gonna know they submit them unless you get a notification. And you can get some notifications. There's some add-ons there, but I tried them and they ask to see a lot of permissions, and sometimes they break down. So I like a very robust system, which is basically copy and paste a JavaScript file and customize it for your purposes. And this is where the magic actually happens. So what we're going to do to create this email confirmation, it's going to go to the form spreadsheet right here. If you're in the form, if you want to make sure you find it, just go to responses and then click here on the view responses in the sheet, right? And now we're going to go and click on Tools Script Editor. Tools Script Editor. Great. We're going to give a name to the script and save it. So we're going to save this as course submission form. All right, so now we saved this script, which is associated with our form. The next thing we're going to do is download the template JavaScript file that allows you to send these notifications automatically. It's on Dropbox. And basically all you can do is just copy it. We're going to copy it. Command C or Control C to copy, and Command V or Control V to paste it. So I'm going to delete everything and paste it now. That's exactly what I want. And I'm going to save it. Okay. Let me close this. So we copied and pasted. We're going to customize the admin's notification email and the user's notification email. So this is going to take a little bit of work, right? Because this really depends on how many fields you're collecting, right? So this is from an existing form. So basically, this is the email template that is going to be sent to the administrator. This is going to be you. And this is the email template that is going to be sent to the user. And finally, we have the function that on submission, when somebody submits the form, it sends the two emails using this function called mail app. Send mail, send email. All right. And then you're going to customize it to make sure it works for you. Important things to do is to make sure that the form input titles, so these input titles are exactly the same as in your form. So in my case, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to copy those titles. So these are the titles. The timestamp is by default there. You don't need to copy that. But the ones that you created are this, in my case, 4. And I'm going to paste them here. Right? Delete the ones that were there. Boom. So there's 4. Okay. And now this is the email that's going to be sent, right? It's in HTML. That's why there's some tags in there. Strong to make sure that it's bold, just to make it look pretty. And then it's formatted with some break lines to make sure it looks good. You'll see as soon as I test this why it's important to format it in a way that is more visible. This could be as simple or as complex as you want. You don't have to go crazy. You could have something just like a simple test saying there's a new notification. But what I really like about these options is you can actually see the contents of what the submission was. And then you can use Gmail filters to make sure that you do whatever you want with those confirmations. You can put them on a folder automatically and then categorize them. Especially if you're getting a lot of submissions, it's going to be very useful to do this. So in my case, the input field for entering the email is called enter your email. So I want to make sure that this is exactly what it says here under values, right? Because we're capturing the variables, the inputs into these variables, right? The next one is going to be submit the link to your course. This was previously a different question. The next one is going to be enter a coupon to view your course, and I'm going to paste it here. It has to be exactly the same, right? And then anything else, this is comments. So that's actually comments as well. And then I'm going to change the title to make sure it matches that. In this case, it's going to be the course link. That's going to be coupon. Okay, some helpful links. I usually like to link back to where the form was. And the way I do that is by creating a bit.ly link back to the form. That's very easy. You can do that. So the live form is this one. That's a very long link, right? So what I do is I go to bit.ly, create a new bit link, paste it, automatically creates a short version of that link, which I copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. The Google form, so the online Google form is available here. Okay. That's if you want to put any other links to like your website, you could do it here, right? In this case, I'm gonna leave it here in my case, because I want people to go check out the Facebook group if they need any help, but you can customize that to your own group or website. Then I also like to link back to the actual sheet with the responses. And I'm going to do that here. I'm going to create a bit.ly link again for that. And copy it, then paste it under Google Sheet. You'll see why this is important. Otherwise, if you have many forms, you start forgetting where the form was and how to edit it and all of that, right? And then your own signature, in my case, peace, love, cookies, Miguel, Grumo.com. So that's the template for the admin. It's created now, and I'm going to save. Now the next thing I'm going to do is create the template for the client or user. This is the notification that the user is going to get by email. Thanks for submitting your course, link, and coupon. And I don't need the next part of the message. Very important that when you create a new line on JavaScript, that you have the backwards slash. Otherwise, it will break. You'll see if I remove it, the next line goes black. that will give an error. So I have to make sure that there's a backward slash there. But I don't need the next line. So what I'm going to do, once you actually end that variable HTML, then you can put the semicolon afterwards. And if you want to add more lines after your variable HTML, you can go HTML plus equal, and then it adds more content to the same variable. If you don't have the plus in front of the equal, it's going to redefine that variable every single time. So the content before that is never going to be added to that variable, right? Very important. And again, now this is basically a confirmation for the user, and I can send them also the same results. So it could be, I could just copy that and put it here. If you want to get help, you can go to this place, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much done. Now the final part is to make sure that we edit the values under the form submit function. This is the function that is going to actually send the email to the admin, you, and to the user that submitted the form. So let's start from the beginning. First, we're going to capture the value of the user email entered in the form. This has to be exactly the title of that input field. So in our case, that was enter your email. Remember, if it's not exactly the same, it won't work. It won't capture it. Then you're going to type your email here. This is where you want the email to be sent for you. In my case, it's going to be this email. Then the reply to email. It could be different if you want people to reply to a different email, maybe your company email. My case, I'm just going to, let's say I'm going to put Miguel at Grumo. That's my company email. Then we're going to make sure that the parameters for the administrator's notification email are correct. So the first thing is that we're grabbing here is the body of the administration email, which is this function, which is this function. So the contents of that, we're going to grab that into a variable called email body admin. Then the arguments that are going to go into the send email function, which is you can enter the name of the sender, the reply to email, and the actual body of the email. So those variables are there. Then you enter the variables for the send me email function. Here is my email, so your administrator's email. Then the title of the subject line. So the subject line for your email, in my case, it's going to be new course link submission. And in my case, I'm also adding the variable user email because I want to know not just that there's a new course link submission, but who sent it, right? And then we got the actual email arguments, which are the body of the message and the reply to email, everything. So now the same thing for the email to the user. In this case, I want them to know that it comes from me. The reply to email is going to be Grumo. The email body user is going to be this one, right? And email arguments user. Perfect. That's correct. And then here is the title of the email they're going to send. Thanks, I received your course link submission. Perfect. So it takes a while to edit everything, but once you have it done, you won't have to do everything. So we customize the admin's notification email, the user's notification email. Now we're going to activate the triggers. By default, this is not going to work. You have to connect this, authorize this for it to work. The way you do that, we're going to click on edit current project triggers. There's no triggers right now, so we're going to set up one of them right now, and it's going to be on for submit. There's only one function available. From spreadsheet, on submit, we want to run this function. right? So when somebody submits the function, we want to run the on-form submit function, which in this case is going to trigger two emails, one for you and one for the user. We click save. We have to authorize this. So review permissions. Use. It's going to say this isn't verified. You're going to have to click on advance. Then on go to course submission form, it says and save, and then you go and type continue. Next. And then you're going to allow this spreadsheet to send email as you. Fantastic. That is really nice. So now we've authorized it. We saved our script. We're going to test the form. So let's go to the live form. I'm going to enter, it's going to be my email address because I want to make sure it goes to my email. Submit the link to your course. It has to be a valid link, right? If not, it's not going to work. That will be your link, coupon, and any comments here, blah, 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 blah. So now when I submit this, I should be able to get a notification. Thanks for your submission. Let's see if we got a notification. And there you go. Thanks. So the first email is for the admin. And you can see, because we formatted it properly, we have here the actual body. And this is the email that the user would receive. Thanks to receive your course link submission. Fantastic. There you go. Now, finally, one just thing, if you're testing it and you don't want the test emails to appear, just go to the spreadsheet, right click on the row and then delete it. And then you'll also have to go to the actual form. You see now there's a new response, but I want to clear all the responses because I don't want to have the test responses there. So I go delete all responses, click OK, and then you're done. And that's how you do it. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, but once you have it, it's really, really useful. Like I say, if you see here on this form that I sent, this survey, that was very useful for me to understand what was the main problem with my students. And then I could create products or tutorials based on this feedback, which is fantastic. And if you want to download this checklist, just go to grumo.com/gforms. And if you like this video, so we tested it. Once you're done, make sure you create, again, a bit.ly link to your forms. So in this case, if I go to my form here, you want to make sure you create a bit.ly link so you can send that to your students. I copy it. And this link would be the link that I would send to my students once I copy it, right? You can check your summaries on the responses. And if you like this tutorial, like it and subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was useful for you to create surveys with Google Forms. Thanks for watching.